All right, everybody, it's me, Gregory Mannarino. This is my post-market wrap-up on this lovely day. It really was lovely. I have a lot of stuff to cover with you. Tuesday, August 27, 2019. Before I talk about this, and we need to talk about this, let's go over this day. Despite what's going on here in the bond market, I want to show this to you real quick. It's starting to get coverage. Look, the mainstream financial channels are trying to avoid talking about this. Look at the 2-year, 1.52. Look at the 10, 1.47. And look at that 30-year, 1.95. They do not want you to look there. You must be distracted. You have to look at the stock market. However, did you watch the demeanor, the way the demeanor changed today? This morning, stocks off to the races, nice triple-digit gain. We had a 300-point swing in the Dow Jones Industrial Average today. Stocks finished in the negative across the board. I'll explain to you why that happened in a moment. But understand this. We're going to hear more about this. Where's Peter Navarro? Hello, Peter? Are you out there? You remember you denied the yield curve inversion didn't happen a couple of weeks back. We were going in and out. Well, we've been in it for 2 days, getting progressively worse. There is no way. This isn't just for Peter Navarro, although maybe he could learn something here. Okay, for you, Peter Navarro, explain to me, if you can, and my lions and friends out here who are waiting eagerly to hear from you, how your distorted, twisted, and frankly asinine monetary policy, which is being parroted by the president even today, is going to prevent the long end of the yield curve from dropping. I'm patient. I'm waiting for this. Maybe you can tell the president to explain this to us, because the president was out again today calling for rate cuts, drastic cuts to the federal funds rate. Look, they can cut all they want. It doesn't matter. We've literally reached beyond the point of no return. They can't stop what's coming. It's impossible. Look, for those of us that maybe live under a rock, how many remember Big Fat Ugly Bubble? I do. Well, that Big Fat Ugly Bubble has more than doubled. So what is it now? A super big fat ugly bubble? And when the president said it was a big fat ugly bubble, the yield curve looked a hell of a lot better than it looks now. So that should show you the distortions that exist in this market. It's out of control. So again, they can cut the federal funds rate. The president called again for today 1%. He can cut it 5%. What will that do? Sure, it'll push rates in the negative here in the United States, which is coming soon enough. We already have negative rates. You know that in real terms if you base it against the actual rate of inflation. And they can print all the cash out of thin air, add it to a digital screen. They want to. Understand that we are in an environment of multiple bubbles. We have inverse bubbles as well. Gold and silver are inverse bubbles. And do you see what's happening to here lately with gold and silver? Bet against the dead, people. Become your own central bank. These might be the two best things I have ever said, and I started with that phrase since day one. I don't know how, over a decade ago. So anyone else who's saying that, they got it from me. You all know that. I do hear some people saying, "Hey, bet against the debt." Well, they don't give me any credit. It's mine. Yeah, mine. But you can use it because I want to help people. People need to understand where we're at. We have a runaway system here that, again, no matter what they do, we're in a multiple bubble economy and market, no doubt about it. So we reach a point where no matter how much they try to keep the bubbles inflated, it doesn't work. We'll talk about that in a moment. Again, so this is what you're going to hear, people. Mark my words. As the yield curve continues to invert here, you're going to hear cries and yelling and screaming as loud as you can hear from the President of the United States. I'm not putting him down, but this is what he's going to do. It's what he's been doing here. All right? I don't use the words I was calling him a little while ago. I should use them for Navarro, though, because this is Navarro's policy. Understand, Peter Navarro is running the show. The president is just, he's using Navarro as a crutch. and Navarro was brain dead. The president needs to kick this guy out. I believe maybe if the president would think for himself, hold that thought, maybe not, get somebody else in there, that we could maybe get through this, but they don't know any other way. It's mass debt expansion on an incredible scale, and it's not going to work. All bubbles burst at one particular time, no matter how much effort they put in to keeping it propped up. And again, we went from a big, fat, ugly bubble to the biggest bubble that has ever been seen in the history of the world. The debt market is a disaster area waiting to happen. It's a ticking time bomb. You hear it? Tick, tick, tick. Yeah, it's ticking faster. It's ticking faster as we watch the yield curve invert. And the mainstream financial channels are going to have no choice but to cover this. They don't want you to know about it. You're supposed to look at the stock market. Again, this morning, let's use this morning as an example. Stocks are higher. Great. Oh my Lord. All of a sudden they go lower. Why did they go lower? We'll talk about that in a second. And then they're like, let's see, we can't talk about the stocks going higher. Maybe we should, talk about the yield curve. It's looking pretty gruesome. And to their credit, I didn't think they were going to cover it, but yeah, Fox Business covered it. CNBC covered it. Bloomberg covered it. These are the ones that kind of flash around all day long. Incredible stuff. They have no choice. They have to cover it. And again, they're parading out the same people. Probably the same people that they did during the last meltdown. Oh, it's okay. Oh, don't worry about the yield curve. It's different this time. Yeah, they must convince you that what you believe is wrong. And I know you're way, way smarter than that. So why the reversal today in the stock market? And why did the yield curve invert further? I'm going to give you one guess. If you had to pick a person, one, who has the power to cause something like that to occur, who would it be? You are damn smart. Exactly. So this is what happened today. The president explained that the Chinese must, his words, come to the negotiation table. They have no choice. He said they will, whether they want to or not, the Chinese will come to the negotiation table. Isn't this kind of odd? Because we just heard about a phone call that the president got from China saying they want to deal really badly and they want to negotiate. So why is the president saying, hold on a minute, they will? They will come to the negotiation table whether they want to or not. The market initially didn't like that too much, and then China fires back saying, hey, your threats are not going to bring us to the negotiating table, sir. And whammo, stocks came down, yield curve inverted. Let me say this too. I know most of you know who Art Cashin is. The guy is a Wall Street legend. He runs a stock exchange. On live TV today, he said he does not believe that there was a phone call. This has pretty much been debunked. And as an American citizen, I find that embarrassing before the world. I don't know about you, but that's me. Anyway, so look, let's put a perspective on this again, and then I'm going to go to the air pocket. I want you to pay attention to this. So we had a market that was in kind of a sort of a rally mode today. Probably would have finished higher. Rhetoric from El Presidente. The market didn't like it, especially when China said, "No, we're not going anywhere, and your threats aren't bringing us to the negotiating table." Would you do that? Would you, if you were under threat to do something, would you do it? I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. I don't know. Maybe some of you would. I did run a poll earlier today on Twitter. 18% of people, or 17 or 18%, believe that the president threatening China. And I wrote this, 100% is going to work. So 17, 18% believe 100% the president's threats will force China to the negotiating table, for which, again, they did make a phone call, right? They did say that they wanted to negotiate. And our president yesterday, all day long, they want to deal badly. They want it so badly that I have to force them to the negotiating table. Could someone explain that to me? Because, look, I am not the brightest person out here, so maybe you can explain that to me, because I just don't get it. Something doesn't add up. Okay? It just doesn't, in my view. Something's very wrong here. So anyway, pressure on the market because of that. Yield curve inverting further. People, there are so many things playing into this right now. Variable after variable, dynamic after dynamic. We're going to start talking about this now. Is pointing towards, a disaster area coming down the pike here. These bubbles cannot be kept inflated, no matter how much they cut, no matter how much easy money gets poured into the market, no matter how much the president screams for more. Because the market wants to be fed. Understand, the stock market is an addict. It has been made an addict like you cannot believe, beginning with President Barack Obama, who I used to beat the living, I'm going to say, piss out of publicly all the time. He started this. President Trump, candidate Trump, the man had it right. He was a rock star. In my view, with his views to the big fat ugly bubble, with his views to how the stock market was being propped up by the Fed, all of that's gone now. It's just erased. And not only has he erased it and took Obama's playbook, but he's gone off the deep end with it. He said, hey, this works. Hey, Peter Navarro, what do you think? Oh! Maybe we should use this. Yeah. That's what we have here. It's a circle jerk. It's a circle jerk involving more than, it's also Larry Kudlow, a massive circle jerk, and they are loving it. Around the Oval Office, the three of them, a big fat circle jerk, a big fat circle jerk, all over could you imagine the mess in that room? Oh, Lord have mercy in my soul. But that's what's going on. It's a big fat circle jerk of epic proportions. My Lord have mercy. Look, if I take heat for this video, I don't care. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. That's all I have to say. I'm not calling names. I'm just telling you straight exactly how it is. And if you don't like it, you can leave. I did a lot of culling over the weekend. My subs have recovered and then some, just like I knew it happened. And if you need to be culled, or you need to go wear a diaper, or you need some cuddling like this, don't look at me, because I ain't doing it. Go find another person to cuddle with. Ain't me. I can promise you that. Or most people that follow this blog who have a few functioning brain cells, even one. So here's the deal with this air pocket. It's not just me explaining, looking at longer term charts. I'm not even talking that far out. If you look out a month or so, again, anything can affect this. So let's hear me out first, okay? I'm not calling for a market crash. I'm not calling for a meltdown, but all this is going to correct. A lot of technicians out here writing to me, and we had a technician here who called the last drop in this market, the last meltdown. He's screaming from rooftops, there's a big fat air pocket under this market, and I believe there is too. Doesn't look good. Doesn't mean it's going to happen, but I mean, it's there. And I guarantee you that most technicians out here looking at longer term charts are going to agree. There's a big fat ugly air pocket now under this market. What does that mean for you? Just think about it. If it happens, look, people, look, it's simple. We know what's going to happen. Mass debt expansion on an unprecedented scale. The president will scream from rooftops because he needs to feed the market. The president wants to feed the stock market. Feed it. Feed it. Feed it. Feed it with that easy money. Feed it with rate cuts. And the Federal Reserve is going to be more than happy to comply. The Federal Reserve can never be depleted. You understand that? There are people, again, in the delusional camp who think that, wow, we're going to make the Fed deplete itself. How can that happen? If they can just conjure cash out of thin air, they can add it to a digital screen. All they want. Their product is debt. It doesn't sink in certain people's heads. The more debt they issue, the stronger they become. I mean, you got to be lost to not understand that. They will comply. They want to comply. They want to be the lenders of last resort and the buyers of last resort. And every world leader is doing the same thing because they have no alternative, and they're sucking us down that vortex of debt. Couldn't be more simple to understand. The Fed is not going anywhere. The Fed is not going to end. President Trump doesn't, he is losing power by the day. More than likely, and I'll say it right here, this president has lost the next election. I mean, his lies are catching up with him. And I think he's becoming very not credible around the world. The market's not buying it. No confidence vote. And again, the propping up, he's trying to push into this market by even conjuring up stories about mysterious phone calls in the middle of the night and then having to force China to the negotiating table? Doesn't make sense. Market understands that this is a lie. Market doesn't like it. Again, like I explained to you, cash, when cash moves into the U.S. markets, it's really investing in the policy and the trust of the President of the United States in many ways. This is far gone now, people. Far gone. And the market is losing confidence rapidly. Look at the debt market. Prove me wrong. The debt market is explaining, hey, there's a big problem here. Why do you think we're seeing this action here in the debt market? Because things are great. Because confidence is so awesome. Because the economy is booming. Which one? Or is it an absolute loss of confidence in a system that cannot maintain its current status, no matter what they want to throw at it? No matter what Peter Navarro, President Trump, Larry Kudlow, whatever they're doing in their circle jerk around the Oval Office, ain't working. All right, with that said, look, this guy, again, I'm going to say it every freaking day because it's true. We need each other. We really do. I got your back like you have no idea. It's the truth. And I hope you have mine. I know you do. It's the truth. I read the comments. I see the trolls. I see what you guys do. And you girls too. Look, let them ramble on. Let them make absolute fools of themselves. People want to make videos about me. Good. It makes me bigger. It gets my name out there. It gets me more subs. I love it. I really do. Every time some imbecile has to do I'm calling out Greg Mannarino. First of all, they look like idiots. And second of all, my subs go through the roof. So please, keep doing it. I just love it. I'm out of here. Love you a lot. Share this video. And try to get that image of the three stooges. You know who they are? In their big circle jerk around the Oval Office. Because I'm kind of revolted by that. Love you a lot. Again, bye.